Hey everyone, welcome into the show today. I am definitely super excited about the guest I have with me on today. We're going to be talking about the industry and some of the things going on in this crazy industry that we call life insurance. Special guest today is Gerry Ruffino. Let's talk about it. My man Gerry, how's it going, my friend? What's good, man?
Man, I'm blessed. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Well, thanks for being here, man. Look, this whole thing, this life insurance industry, obviously we've got people going through so many different kind of scenarios, and I'm just excited about talking to one of the titans in the industry today, to see just kind of what we can come up with today, man. I know you're just coming off of 8% with Cody Askins. How was that whole thing for you, man, over the weekend?
I thought it was great. Being part of just my IMO, right, with Family First Life, I've done a lot with them, but having an opportunity to venture outside of that and just continue to get to know people in the industry was super helpful. I think it's always in your benefit to get to know the industry that you're working in, right? Not just your own bubble,
Yeah.
because there's always so much to learn. So it was great to see a bunch of people that are in the PNC market that I knew absolutely nothing about. I'm starting to dabble a little bit with some Medicare and supplemental stuff again. And so it was good to hear that. But just at the core, just to, they had great speakers. Jesse
Hmm.
Insler was phenomenal. They had obviously Tim Tebow and Ed Milet, but there were speakers in the industry that I thought were really good too. So overall, man, I came back and you always have to make a decision when you go to events like that, right?
Mm.
Do I take 2, 3 days off to go invest in myself and not invest in my bank account?
Right.
But I think everybody that you listen to, right, has coaches and consultants and everything they work with. So this made a lot of sense for me.
How long have you actually been in the industry, Jer?
Oh man, so I did supplemental for a while, probably about 6 years ago. Dabbled in that for about a year, left
Mhm.
it, and I'm a little bit over a year and a half into my own life insurance brokerage.
Wow, that's amazing. So you got a team, you're building a team. How's that looking for you?
Dude, yeah. So, last year, like the numbers don't sound super exciting to me just because I think we can do so much. But last year, overall, personally on my own pen, I wrote about 275,000.
Wow,
And then
wow,
my team did, thank you. My team did 1.2 million.
wow.
And then what are we at? 7, 8 months into it now. We're right around that 1.2, 1.3 million range. So we're trying to make a big push at the end here and
Hmm.
definitely try to double that. So, I think if we double every year, I think we'll be okay, right?
There's a at AJC we've been having a bunch of conversations just around sales. For life insurance agents and in particular sales training. It seems to be one of those things where a lot of people are focused like on leads, right? Where are you getting your leads from? Where are you doing, where all the leads coming from and all that. But what do you see as maybe one of the drawbacks or one of the issues that life insurance agents have with sales in particular, being an actual salesperson?
It's a good question, Earl. I think the reality is that people see what other people are doing and they start to compare themselves.
Hmm.
And they're like, oh, this person must have secret leads or a secret sauce or a secret this. And there's
Right.
no secret here. It's really what it is when I've done bad, right? When I've had bad days, bad months, even a bad week, even a bad month, it's not because the leads didn't work or it's just because I didn't put enough effort, right? At the end of the
Mm.
day, this isn't that complicated, right? I think we make it super complicated. What is sales in its nutshell, right? Sales is the solution to a problem, right? That's
Definitely,
all it is.
definitely.
Like, if you go into a car, you're trying to sell cars. Like, obviously, the problem is I want a car or I want a new car, right?
Hmm.
Now it's where you take me from that opportunity, right? That will land me with the car I have. Same thing in insurance, right?
Hmm.
The big difference here is obviously, you got some health things and you got some financial things
Right.
you got to take care of and overcome. But I think we just focus so much on, and this is where I've been probably the last couple of months, and I think it's been a problem in a way. I become such a product guru and all these things that I start to overthink things instead of just saying, okay, what's Earl's problem here?
Mm-hmm.
He needs to make sure he takes care of his final expenses or his mortgage or his legacy,
Mm-hmm.
right? Well, let's just really dumb this down and keep it simple, right? At the end of the day, you want to love on people, right? That's one of the things at my let. Don't sell the product, sell love and relationships. So if you sell love and relationships, like whether I know Earl or not for 5 minutes or 5 years, if he can genuinely tell that I care about him and I want to build something strong, he'll trust my instinct because I'm the expert here, right? You're not going to go to your doctor and be like, hey, I have this going on, and the doctor's going to be like, well, which plan do you want, A, B, or C?
Right. Most
He's going to tell
definitely.
you, we're going to do this, and this will do that. So I think that's something that we're missing out on. We're spending too much time um, focusing on other things and not solving the problem. And the second thing, we're too focused on how much is going to put in our account with what product and what company rather than just doing what's best for the client.
That's a main thing right there. One of the main things I should say right there is when we're looking at our own bottom line as opposed to actually helping that client and put them in the best possible situation. I think that's a problem. In many instances, it doesn't matter the IOM or the agency that you're with, they want you to push a certain brand, right? Because that brand is going to bring not only you, but them more money with that as well. When you're looking at the clients in particular, and especially getting people on the phone, but one of the main issues life insurance agents have, well, there's a couple, they're not answering the phone or they say I didn't do that or whatever. What are some of those main objections that you and your team find yourself kind of, filtering through every day that you're on the phones?
Yeah, and look, this is where I got to give AJC and Arturo and you and Jack and the whole team a ton of credit. So I think at the end of the day, right, all leads, you can either look at it two ways, right? All leads work or all leads suck, however way you want to look at it, right? If you want to look at it like they all work, well, not all the time, right? And if you want to look at it as they all suck, well, not all the time, right? So your goal is just to get a hold of somebody and not sound like some robot, which is I think what's wrong with a lot of the people in this industry, right? They're trying to read off a script or do whatever. So if somebody says they didn't fill it out, right, and it's literally a mailer and you have a handwritten note on there,
Hmm.
they filled it out because you can send that. If it's an internet lead and they're like, no, I didn't fill it out, it's like, well, what's differentiating you from what other people are saying? It's like, hey, Earl, have you been getting a million calls from people about life insurance? Yes, I have. Okay. So why did you, let me just ask this, man. I don't want to go through a script or anything. What is it that you were looking for? So that we can get away from all these telemarketers and we can just address the actual issue here. Right.
Yeah.
And just having a genuine conversation. But you can study every objection in the book and you can do everything. The thing that is unique, right, is you. And you have to stand out and make sure people are knowing that you're there to build a relationship with them. See, a lot of people are like, don't become friends with your clients. And I'm like, you don't have to be best friends with your clients, but they got to know you care about them.
Exactly.
Right? You got to do something unique. They're not just another tally on the board, which I think a lot of people often treat it that way. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, Miss Betty. Well, Miss Betty, how's your grandson doing? Right? And sending her that occasional text or random phone call is not a bad thing, right? How many agents do you think fear for their life, right?
Mm.
When a client calls them right after they did an application or a couple of days after.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And what's
Been
the
there.
tendency, right? What is the tendency to not answer the
Answer the
phone? Well, if
phone.
you don't answer the phone, now you look terrible,
Hmm.
right? I answer the phone right away because if they want to cancel, let's address that right now.
Yeah.
But that's rarely what they're calling me about. Rarely. They're always calling me about something else. So
Yeah, it's one of those things too. I know I've been frustrated before as an agent, and I'm sure agents still get frustrated. Well, I didn't fill that out, or whatever, or no, I don't want it anymore. Well, why did you fill the darn thing out in the first place? That frustration kind of comes out. You always have to have your mindset kind of regulated throughout the day. As far as you're going to have the good calls, but you're going to have those bad calls that you have to go through as well. But that mindset has to really stay even. What are maybe some of your secrets that you may have? Do you take a break? Do you walk around the block? How do you kind of come up against those things when your mindset does kind of shift to a negative perspective?
dude, it happens to everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's step one. That's going to happen to everybody, and you got to find a way to overcome that, right? So one of the things that has helped me a lot is obviously partnering with AJC and Arturo and all that. So there are two amazing lead types out there, right? It doesn't matter what you look at, but the best lead type in the world, I don't care what anybody says, is a referral,
Mm.
right? Because one, that means that you've built enough trust with a client for them to turn around and now share information about other people that they care about in their life. That's the strongest confirmation of you doing a good job out there, right? And then the second type of thing of lead is the one you can generate yourself, where you know exactly where it's being generated from,
Yeah.
right? Nobody else can have access to your lead, right? So, and I think that that's helped me a lot in that business because I'm dealing more with. I do probably less styles now than I've ever done, but I'm actually doing probably more premium and less traveling than ever before. So here's the deal: you gotta coming off of 8% and everything we've learned, right? There are a lot of different things out there you can do for positive affirmation. Okay. You can write things on your mirror. You can do anything that you want. You can work out. You can get up an hour earlier. You can do a billion things. None of those things matter if they don't make an impact in you.
Yeah.
Right. So you got to have in anything you do in this world, you got to have a strong enough reason of why you're doing it and why you're willing to sacrifice your time, right, to do it. What's funny, Earl, is a lot of folks, right, come from corporate America and they're willing to be told to come into the office at 7 a.m., 6 a.m., 5 a.m., whatever a.m., and
Yes.
they're willing to wait on, or even sometimes stay longer for somebody to impress their boss. But then they come here and all of a sudden their work ethic is gone,
Wow.
right? So it's like, hold up. If you need that much structure in your life, be your own boss and put that out there where it's like, no matter, don't negotiate your non-negotiables.
Love it.
So that I think that's what's going on. But for me personally, look, this is a roller coaster business, and it's all mindset, right? Because at the end of the
Yeah.
day, my script stays the same, my conversations stay very similar, my clients want the same things, right? So let's not complicate that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, hey, what could I have tweaked here, or what questions could I have asked there, right?
Right.
The guy that asked, "Hey, sell me the pen," right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what that whole thing is about, right?
What's that? Educate us.
It's not about selling them a pen,
Pen.
right? If you immediately get a pen and it's this amazing, whatever pen, it's you should never just cut into saying, man, this pen has blank ink, it's the best thing ever. It has a little thing that you can pin on your. They don't care about that.
Mm-hmm.
What you need to learn is to ask questions. Well, Earl, how long have you been in the market for a pen? Right? And then you start asking questions. Well, what are the things that you've seen out there that have prevented you from making a decision on this? Why is this pen so important? So you see what I'm saying? So like
Yeah.
same
Yeah. Yeah.
thing, but now you're doing it with insurance. Earl, how long have you been in the market for insurance? Have you been declined before? Has it been budget?
Yeah.
Right? Who's the person that's going to be the most impacted in your life if you pass away tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
Right? How many GoFundMe's have you actually donated to? Have you gone to a funeral home to start doing your planning? Do you know what happens to your home when you pass away and nobody else is on that actual loan?
Right.
Nobody else's name's on there? Who do you think owns that? Your daughter or your son because you love them, or the bank who you made a financial agreement with? And you
Exactly.
ask the right questions. And I think when I'm at my best is when I'm asking a lot of questions and not giving a lot of answers. And that's something that I still struggle with in my personal life. But as I've grown older, I've come to realize, hey, questions are the key to success, right?
Most definitely. You're in the midst now of, going through the process of continuing to build your team and stuff like that. What is it that you look for initially in somebody that you want to bring on to Team Gerry?
Yeah, here's the deal with this business, Earl. I immediately started building, right? And I just wanted to bring anybody and everybody that could help us protect families and move product, right? That was it. Like that's all I care about in the beginning. And I feel like this business, and maybe a lot of others, but for me, this particular business has helped me grow up a lot in the last year. And I've learned that I don't just want to work with anybody,
Yeah.
right? I want to look for people that are genuinely hungry, right? I don't mind answering a million questions, but I don't want people that want me to do everything for them. And I get a lot of that, right? And to get that, you got to enable that. So I've enabled that for a long time. So now I'm at the point where I'm like, hey, I want to make sure that I want to be 100% transparent about the pros and the cons of this business, where people are successful and where people tend to fail, and why 92% of folks don't renew their life insurance license after 2 years. Okay.
Wow.
And I want to shoot that 100% straight to them, because I don't want them to ever say, man, Gerry didn't tell me about this, or chargebacks or roll-ups or whatever, right? So I'm going to shoot it to them 100%. But I really just want somebody that's starving to win, has a genuine, kind heart and a kind mind. Like, if you have that, man, you could be very, very successful here.
You can be dangerous, right, man? Well,
Yeah.
Gerry, look, man, how do folks get in contact with you if they want to, talk to you about getting into life insurance or anything like that? How would you suggest they reach out to you?
Yeah, my cell phone's usually always the best. It's the same number my wife calls, so I tend to be on it pretty quickly. So it's 512-992-4584. I am going to be trying to up our social media presence. That's something that I've really slacked in, which makes no sense, right? So I am trying to really up that. Our organization name is FFL Destiny. And the reason we went with Destiny is because Destiny is not a matter of chance, but a matter of choice. And as we learn at 8%, right, Destiny can also means 2 words: do more, right? So when in doubt, just do more. So I love that when I heard that at 8%. So look, I just want to work with people that are hungry to help others, man. And this business can have a lot of can make you a ton of money really, really fast, but it can also make amazing relationships, right? I'll share this quick story, Earl. Last week I received a death claim from a client I helped in January. Okay. I remember meeting with him vividly. Okay. Super nice guy. I was actually still in the field, so I met with him face to face. I went to his home. He had just bought that home. He had just moved to this town. We sat down and he was really just like trying to figure out his finances, and said, hey, I do want to get more coverage later on, but for now I want to start off with just a small final expense $6,000 plan. Ironically enough, right, this tells you how bad of an agent I am at times. So one of my buddies actually, he had him come up as a lead through a different vendor. He met with him a couple months later, and then actually ended up getting him that term product that he really wanted. And I'm not mad about it, right? That's my fault for not doing a good job following up with the client. But at the end of the day, what really truthfully matters is that the client had both policies. Last week, I posted about my client passing away, and my colleague reached out to me and said, dude, you won't believe this. And I said, what? He said he bought a policy for me a couple months after you, and he wanted to keep both of them, but he canceled this policy 2 weeks before he passed away. Right. And it was a bigger term plan. And luckily his family will get something, very small something, but it's, something's better than zero. So that really kind of hits home, man. You remember, like, you love seeing the premiums and everything you're writing and winning these trips and awards and blah, 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 blah. But what's really the most important thing, right? To be brutally and respectfully honest with people during your process, so that at the end of the day, when the inevitable happens, and it's going to happen.
Yeah, it is.
Right. Something's there to help their family financially, not put them through the burden we talk about every day. So that spoke to me a lot, man. So, and it happens every day to multiple people, and we just got to continue to try to help those families out.
Man. Well, Gerry, I definitely appreciate you being on with me today and taking your time out, man, and giving us your insight on this whole industry. And man, wishing you the best. You're on your road to 2 million by the end of the year, right? That's right. As a team. All right, man. Well, once again, thanks, Gerry, for being here. Definitely appreciate you. And just to the listening audience, thanks for being here with us today. Make sure you check out Gerry's contact information if you want to learn more about getting into this business. Make sure you reach out to him. And until next time, we'll see you on the next Rainmaker podcast.
Thanks, Gerry.